And yet look at us. We keep on acquiring things. We keep on thinking, this is mine, I want more of this, I want more of this. We cluttered our houses. We packed our things and nothing will go with us. And never occurs to us. We see people dying. So many of our relatives have died, so many friends have died. We see them dying, we never think we will die. It looks like we'll be there. I meet people of my age, 88 years old, coming and telling me, we just made a very good investment. In 10 years, I'll get so much. In 20 years, I'll so much. They tell me about their good investments they're making, and they're making plans. They will change their house at that time. They'll buy a bigger mansion. And I wonder, don't they realize that we can't even know about tomorrow if we'll be alive? And you are talking of 20, 30 years ahead at this age? So we do not stop. And then sometimes when we go to some nice talks or lectures or metaphysical studies or religion or go to temple or church, we hear these things, we say, yes, we shouldn't do this. Then we make a resolution. I am not going to do this. Now, how many times have we made resolutions? I will never do this, and we do it again. I ask you, how many of you have sometime decided in your life, I'll never do that again, and you still did it again? It's unanimous. Okay, I'll interrupt my serious talk, and based on the theme of what I've just said, I'll tell you a little joke. Sometimes people have told me that you talk so seriously, and what happened to your humorous part that you forget to tell us jokes? To break the tedium of serious talk, you should sometimes introduce a joke or two. So I'm going to tell you a joke just about this theme, that we take a decision so many times, we'll never do this again. If we could stick to our resolution, life would be different. But we do the same things over and over again. The story is about two elk hunters. You know, elks are big deer, you find them in the mountains. And they rented a small airplane to go for elk hunting. And they went hunting and they killed 4 elks, heavy-bodied elks, and dragged them. And the pilot of the plane said, these are very heavy. My plane is not designed to carry such heavy weight. If you put all 4 of them, my plane will fall and crash. So take 2 at a time. They said, no, last year we took 4. In the same kind of plane, we took 4 elks and we loaded them. And how can you say that we can't put them in? So they dragged all the 4 into the plane. No wonder the plane crashed. And when the plane crashed, the pilot was killed. They were all debris, but these 2 survived. And when they survived, one comes out of the debris and says to the other, where are we? He says, same place like last year. That's how much we learn from our experience. And we all do that. The method we have of discovering the truth is so simple. If we could make a resolution, okay, I am going to find who I am. I am going to go within and find out. You'll find out. But stick to it. We get initiated by perfect living masters. We get methods of how to discover ourselves. We make promises to ourselves. I am going to meditate regularly. And after some days we say, oh, we didn't get much out of it. Nothing happens. And we have more important worldly duties to do. And therefore, we fall off from it. I've seen people, my own colleagues, initiated into the path of spiritual development and finding out the truth 40, 50 years ago and given up. They say the only time we like to meditate is when we come back to your program. And then for 2-3 days we are very excited. And then we go back into our routine. This tendency to treat this discovery of ourselves as a very minor part-time activity of life. And what we are going to do in a physical world over here, which lasts so little, as more important, is causing so many of us who have the chance to find the truth, not finding it, and just giving it up. We are running, there's a diamond mine open to us, big treasures put up inside us, and ignoring them, we are looking after little pennies here and there and saying, let me chase them. That's what we are doing, because we can't see the diamonds, and therefore we are doing this. That's exactly our situation. Therefore, I am suggesting to you, if you are serious about discovering the truth and discovering yourself, at least make a resolution, I am going to try and find out what's there, what's going on, and not give up till you find something. At least give it a fair trial, and not say, yes, I got the method of doing it, but now I've given it up because I had other work to do, or I didn't get much out of it. Of course, it's difficult to get much out of it if your approach to that is, I have to give little time to it, it's just a part-time thing. You won't get anything. Because this discovery of yourself requires a very fundamental change. The fundamental change is that you have been used to putting your attention on outside things. You have practiced all your life how to focus your attention on things. Focusing of attention always means putting it outside of yourself. You are well versed in that, how to focus your attention on things. By trying to focus your attention inside, you are still keeping it outside. The method is not the right one. We are talking of discovering our own self, from where attention originates. Focusing is to take the attention away from where it originates. You cannot discover yourself by trying to focus your attention anywhere, whether you try to focus in your head or outside. What is required is an exact opposite of that, withdrawal of attention. You have to withdraw your attention, not focus it. People sit in meditation, they close their eyes, and they focus upon who they think is themselves. They make a little picture of themselves. They make a little image of themselves with their eyes closed and say, we are trying to find ourselves. And they're looking at that image which they have made with their imagination and think that is themselves sitting there. That's not them at all. They are the ones looking at that image. They are the ones making up that image. The self is the one that creates that image. It's not the image. We spend our time in meditation like that for years getting nothing. We can't, because the method we are operating on, the focusing of attention on something doesn't work. What works is withdrawal of attention. It's a very big difference between withdrawal of attention and focusing of attention. We are used to focusing attention, therefore we focus attention, get nothing, and give up meditation itself. And say, no, there's nothing in it. Maybe it's just made up. We even dismiss the whole thing without even properly trying. Therefore, I'm emphasizing the importance of this big shift, that in discovering yourself, you have to withdraw the attention to yourself and not focus on anything. Now, if somebody has never practiced withdrawal of attention, then how can you introduce the subject? We can introduce by another gift given to us. Just like I said, attention is a great gift. The power to concentrate is a great gift. The third gift that is very important given to all human beings is imagination. That when you imagine something, you put your attention there. If I were to say to you today, imagine for a moment that you have left your chair and are standing next to me. How many of you can do that? Try. That's very good. You could imagine you were standing here. Did you see yourself standing here? How many saw yourself standing here? Okay, how many of you imagine you were here and you were looking back at the audience? How many? That's very good. Look at the power of imagination. Did you just see what you did? You were sitting in this chair. Who came here? With your power of imagination and your attention, who came here? Did you ever think of it? Who came here? Which part of you was able to travel and sit here next to me, stand next to me, where you so quickly did it and put your hands up, which part of you was that which came here? What was the power of this person, of the being that was standing here and could see back at the audience? It was your own self, but not the body. Your body was there. Your sense perceptions, the power to perceive. You could even use not only visual power, you could use all sense perceptions when you were here. That sense perception of yours, which came here, is called the astral body, is called the inner body. It's built inside out this body. And the outer body experience is nothing more than that body moving outside, which you just did. People talk so highly of their outer body experiences and astral body experiences. You just had one, without even knowing it. This power of imagination, where you can place anywhere, you can imagine that you are sitting inside the head of this body. Just imagine. And when you imagine you are sitting there, not seeing yourself, you are sitting there, when you imagine that, you are really withdrawing your attention to yourself. So here's a wonderful way in which we can start good meditation by imagining we are there. In order to do that, we have to disimagine, leave the imagination that we are the body. So the method that we recommend, and of course if you can come to my meditation workshop or to Bandara, I'll talk to you more about it. But I can only tell you that if you can imagine that this body, physical body, is not you, you are inside the body, this also localize it, that you are not only in the body, you are in a very small section of the body in the head. You can also imagine and visualize even better if you make this house, which we call the human body, as a house with several floors. 6 floors, 6 levels are in this house. Why do I say 6? I could have said 10. The reason why I say 6 is there are 6 energy centers that operate in the body, and they divide the energetic experiences into 6 levels anyway. And therefore, it's very easy to imagine that you are in a body with 6 floors, which is your house. That you are living in this house. You can go, there's an elevator also along the spine. At the back, the elevator, then the stairs are there, staircase. If you don't want to go by elevator, you can step down by next floor. From the eyes, you can go down to throat, next heart, belly, genitals, bottom. You can go to 6 floors, go up the stairs, get a little tired, or take an elevator from the back. If you can fully imagine that this body of ours is a house in which we live with these 6 floors, and there are eating places in the bottom, there are emotional places where you feel like crying and laughing and all that, in the heart center, there are dream-like situations you can have in the throat, and you are awake here. If you can have this imagination of this body being your house as you live in it with several floors in it, and right now when you are awake, putting attention on outside things through the eyes, looking from outside from the eyes, on the 6th floor behind. If you can imagine that, then this 6th floor room of yours, this level of yours, is very important. This 6th floor divides this house from what is below and what is in front of the eyes and all the rest of the house which is behind. The house that is behind the front room on the 6th floor carries all the treasures. They're hidden there behind. They're not in these floors. They're energies. Energetic experiences are there in the 6th floor below. But the higher awareness, the highest awareness, higher awareness of the mind, higher awareness of the soul, higher awareness of totality, higher awareness of God, higher awareness of the totality of consciousness is all hidden behind the 6th floor. If you can imagine only this much, and then start your meditational process from the sixth floor behind the eyes. You'll be able to withdraw your attention. When we have greater opportunity, I can share you more experiences, how this can be done easily with the gifts we have been given. We should be eternally grateful for these gifts that we have been given. The gift of having a free will, at least experience of it, which makes us seekers. The gift of having the ability to imagine things, even imagine where we are. The gift of having the power to put our attention where we imagine. The gift of concentrating our attention there. With these few gifts, you can go anywhere you like, outside or inside. It's such a beautiful thing. The difficulty is, if you, as a soul, with a spiritual will, decide to do this, you will do it. If you leave it to the mind to decide, the thinking mind, the mind that is seeking pleasures and gratification outside all the time, if you leave it to the mind to decide, it will destroy all your plans. The mind is our greatest enemy if you want to be on a spiritual journey. Nothing is coming in the way of our spiritual journey except the mind. If you could keep your mind aside, your soul would spring up and go back to where I am talking about. It's the mind that is suppressing it, dragging its power, dragging the power of life into gratification only outside. It's only the mind that is doing it. The mind is our greatest enemy. It can also become our greatest friend. To convert the mind from enemy to friend, all we need is to give it gratification inside. It loves pleasures. We know the weakness of the mind. It loves pleasure, gratification, something that gives it pleasure and joy. That's all it wants all the time. If we can give it something like that inside, it will become our friend and also want the same gratification. So even some minor experiences inside, which are gratifying, they convert the mind from enemy to friend. But if we don't do that, it keeps on drawing our attention outside and does not help us in meditation or discovering ourselves. But this is possible if we are able to have some experiences. And therefore, when you withdraw your attention inside and imagine you are inside and begin to forget what is outside, which can take little time, but it's quite possible, not very difficult. If you can imagine you are there, what will happen? Suppose you concentrate. You concentrate on being there. As I said, when you listen to music and you concentrate on the drums, the other things become less audible to you. If you concentrate looking at something, other things become less visible to you. If you concentrate on being inside, in your home, on the sixth floor, you begin to forget what's outside. And when you look around there, what's going on there, you begin to forget what's outside, and slowly you begin to forget your body. And that happens in stages. The first part is when you forget where your hands and feet are. Then you forget where your legs are. Eventually, by sitting here, you forget where your torso is. And the whole body seems to disappear. And yet you are very alive. Because you are sitting on the sixth floor, the floor expands, becomes a new world, a new sky opens up, you can fly and discover entirely new world with more pleasures. If you investigate it more than what's outside, the mind turns from enemy to friend. That's at least the minimum we should do. The very minimum we should do that. Why? Because if this instruction to us to do this is given to us by a perfect living master, who knows where we are, and he initiates us. That's a very important event in life. Initiates us. What does he do when he initiates us? By initiating us, he embeds himself, manifests himself at the right point in the inner sky, and all we have to do is to reach this first point, first stage of meditation, and find him there. If he's not there, he wasn't a perfect living master in the first place. But if he's waiting for us there, he says, now welcome, and let's begin our rest of our journey of awareness together. You are never alone after that. Your job is finished. You have done your homework, and now it's for the Master to do his homework. And his work now begins from there. And every experience above that is in the company of the perfect living Master. You see him in the form in which you saw him in a human body as an ordinary person. You see him in a form which is corresponding to your form inside, which is radiant, full of luminosity and light. You see him in every form in which you transform yourself and go right up to totality and find that you and the Master and the universe was one. There our spiritual journey ends, and you discover what a great adventure you had and how well you had made an arrangement to come back to a true home when you got fed up of that adventure. All these answers come to you. In the process of doing this, you will get answers to all your questions you have ever asked in your life. All the answers are inside you already. So it's not a small little method of meditation of just feeling relaxed or getting rid of tensions or something, or getting some peace of mind temporarily. True meditation, the art of discovering yourself, can take you to the highest level of discovering the Creator and becoming one with the Creator, because you are one with the Creator. So this whole process is available when we are human beings, and we seek inside, and we are helped to go inside and right to the top.